Hello yogis, coming to you today to bring you a restorative, relaxing practice for you to do at any time of day whenever you feel you need it. We'll be doing a series of restorative yin-like poses, and I hope that you are able to access some stillness and some release and some quiet in these poses. If possible, it would be very helpful for you to get two maybe couch cushions or pillows from your bed, having two of those nearby for today. You don't need them for the whole flow, but for certain parts of it. It would also be helpful for you to potentially have two blocks, which if you just use two water bottles, this would also help. This will be for under your knees for some poses. And if you could possibly also grab a blanket, just one, or maybe a large beach towel, something of that nature that would allow you to get a little bit of elevation in some of these poses and to allow you to soften into some of these poses. This is more of a minimal prop restorative, so it's not the same as if we were all together, but I'm hoping it will at least do to provide you some release and surrender during these times. So whenever you're ready, we're going to start with our very first pose. So move the propping off to the side for a moment. You won't need it just yet. We're going to come, if you want a blanket, you can keep it nearby. We're going to come to find some seat and center just to begin our practice today. And as you're ready, just come to find a comfortable position. It can be lying down on your back to begin with. It can begin with you seated. If you are seated, come to line up your shoulders with your hips, your ears with your shoulders, and just take a moment to allow yourself to check in. Notice how you're feeling. Notice any thoughts that are floating through your mind. Come to check in with your senses. Come to check in with what you're hearing around you. And let those noises become part of your experience. Come to check in with the temperature of the room that you're in. And then start to very gently allow yourself to focus on the flow of your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's take a moment to take 2 more rounds of breath just like that. Breathing in and release that all the way out. Taking another breath in and a long breath out. On your next inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Maybe make a fist and then release everything down as you exhale out. Do that again. Take a breath in, shrug your shoulders, make some fists, and then release everything down as you exhale out. One more time, just like that. Big breath in. Make those fists. Scrunch your eyes, scrunch your face, scrunch your ears, scrunch your shoulders, and then exhale to release all of that out. Whenever you're ready, you're going to come to start in the first pose. You're going to be in crocodile for a moment on your bellies. You don't need any props for the first 3 poses. So as you're ready, coming to lower down onto your belly, making a pillow with your hands. Extend your legs out behind you and let your forehead rest on your hands. And if this does not feel accessible to you, you can always goal post your arms and turn your head to rest on one of your cheeks. And we're coming there in a moment, so doing what feels best for you and that would allow you to center. Come to fill up your breath And exhale to release that out. We'll be here for about 5 to 7 breaths. So every time you take a breath in, let your heart, the back of your heart, extend toward the ceiling. And every time you take a breath out, softening, letting your belly drop further and your heart get closer toward the earth. Staying with your breath, breathing in and breathing out. As you're ready, and your next inhale in, if your arms were already in a goalpost or a cactus shape, just leave them there. If they were not, just come to bring your arms out to the sides, making a shape almost like a goalpost, allowing your shoulder and your elbow to be in line, and allowing your elbow and your wrist to be in line. And we're going to come to turn our cheek to the right, so you're going to be resting on your left cheek. Come to bend into your right knee and slide your right knee out. So your right knee will be in line with your hip, and your right knee will also be in line with your ankle. If keeping it there is too much for you, slide your knee down to allow it to be further away from where your hip and your elbow are. If it's not enough and you kind of want to feel a little bit more, slide your knee up further, closer to where your elbow and your hip points. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Allow yourself to soften into this rock climber shape. We'll be here for 5 to 7 breaths. Reminding yourself every time you breathe in, breathing in on breathing in, and breathing out and breathing out. Reminding yourself you have nowhere else you need to be in this moment but here. Taking these breaths in and out. On your next inhale in, so just slowly slide your right leg down alongside your left leg. Take a moment to tap the tops of your feet into the mats. Slowly turn your head to face the left-hand side, resting on your right cheek this time. Bend into your knees for a moment and windshield wiper them left to right. And then as you're ready, in your next inhale, let your legs go long on the mat once again. We're doing the same action on the left-hand side that we just did on the right. So as you're ready, coming to bend in to your left knee, taking a moment to find a place where you can feel that you can soften here and that you could surrender and release into it. Again, maybe your knee is coming closer towards your elbow, or maybe it's moving further away from your elbow. The ideal for these poses, for this particular flow, is more about release and softening into the earth beneath us, and less about trying to attach more feeling into the postures. So it's more about passive relaxation for today's flow. We'll be here for 5 to 7 breaths on this side. So once you find a position that feels most comforting to you, breathe in and breathe out. As you're ready, on your next inhale, start to slide your left leg long on the mat next to your right leg. Make a pillow with your palms underneath your forehead. Bend into your knees and windshield wiper them left to right. On your next inhale, come to let your legs go long on the mat. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up, and we're going to come to set up for our next pose, which is a reclined Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler pose. To do this pose, you'll need some of your propping. So have a blanket nearby. Take your pillows, and if possible, placing them so that they are vertical on your mat, and laying them directly on top of one another. Have the blanket nearby you, and have your blocks or water bottles nearby you. If you don't have either, you can also take additional maybe towels and roll them up underneath your knees. So to access this pose, you're going to be bringing your pillows as close to your sacrum as possible, bringing your blocks or water bottles close by, placing the soles of your feet together, letting your knees splay out to the sides. And then what you're going to be doing is taking a moment, placing your hands behind you. Inhale to lengthen your spine here. Exhale to lower down. And this is the point where you may need additional propping. So if you have a blanket nearby, you are going to want to place it so that it can give you extra support for your back or possibly your neck. What you want to avoid is having your neck being too far back. So if you could align your neck in a comfortable position that allows you to still breathe and access this pose, please do that. I'm going to take any other additional movements that you need. Start to fill up your belly, your lungs, and your chest. And exhale that breath out completely. Do that one more time, filling up your belly, your lungs, and your chest. And exhale that breath out completely. One more time, filling it up, and then letting that out. Letting that breath go. Releasing into the mat. Releasing into this pose. And checking in and noticing where your body might be holding onto any tension. Breathe into those spots where that tension is residing. And let that breath untangle it. And allow yourself to soften. Release. Just be and just breathe. If this pose feels extremely soothing and comforting for you, feel free to pause this video and stay here longer. At this point, we're going to come to transition into the next pose, which is a restorative twist. So as you're ready, come to bring your hands to the outside of your knees. Place your feet flat on the mat. Slowly bring your knees through center. Bring your hands to your sides and start to press yourself up. Take a moment to take your feet as wide as the mat. As you take your breaths in, you're windshield wiping your feet left to right here. Take these twists in between our back bending positions and before we come into more forward folding in our restorative practices. So what we're going to be doing next is a twist. You don't need to move any of your propping for this unless it starts to not feel comfortable for you. But as you're ready, you're taking your knees and you're letting them turn toward the right. Come to bring your right hip right up against your props. Start to lengthen your body here. Take your hands and frame out your propping here. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, come to lower down. If this propping is too high for you, you can come to take it out and remove it and make any adjustments that you need. But as you're ready, start to breathe in, breathe out, breathing in, Breathing out. Continue taking those breaths in and out, allowing your mind to stay focused on the flow of your breath in and the flow of your breath out. And again, if you wish to stay on this side of this restorative twist longer, please pause and stay here. Otherwise, start to press some weight into your palms. Press yourself up. Take a moment, just reach your right arm up and over. Take a side stretch here. And then release your hand down. Start to turn your body to face toward the front of your mat. Take your hands behind you. Just windshield wiper those knees one more time. Right to left, left to right. And then as you're ready, we're going to come to take the twist on the opposite side. So taking a moment, allowing your legs and feet to find some stillness, turning to allow your knees to fall to the left-hand side this time. Pulling your left hip up toward the bolster. Taking a big breath in, framing out the bolster, or the propping here, I should say. Breathing in to lengthen, and as you exhale, come to lower down. Make any adjustments that you might need on this side. If you see me looking at my watch, I'm only timing you, and also staying here through the poses. Just a reminder to allow yourself to soften. And allowing your body to meet the earth. Allowing the earth to receive you in this moment. The breath, your breath, and the earth are our constant life partners. The earth is there to support us. The breath is there to sustain us. So giving yourself those reminders, little love notes of gratitude for both of those constants that we have in our life every single day, even in the face of change or uncertainty. Taking a big breath in and a big breath out. Softening further and deeper into the shape of this pose and this twist on this side. Same option as before. If this feels comforting and nourishing to you, stay here longer. Otherwise, start to bring your hands underneath your shoulders, press some weight into your hands, come to press yourself up, and slowly turn your body to face toward the front of the mat. Take a moment, bring your hands behind you, stretch your legs out in front of you this time, and just windshield wiper them left to right. As you're ready, bring the bottoms of your feet back to the mat. We're coming into our final pose before our final relaxation pose for today's restorative flow. It's a child's pose. If child's pose is not accessible to you, you can skip it and come right into your final relaxation pose. If you would like to try this, I recommend the propping again to support you. I would recommend that you take a blanket, your blanket or a beach towel, and place it underneath where your knees and your ankles will be. So taking your knees and your ankles directly onto this blanket to make sure they feel supported by the earth here. Sliding the pillows closer to you. Taking a moment to bring the pillows or your bolsters or whatever you have here a little bit closer in so you can hug in here. And there's some options. If you would like to be closer to the floor, maybe you only use one pillow. If you want to be raised higher and this would feel more accessible to you in child's pose, taking the pillows even higher. If you have another blanket or another towel and you have any tension in your legs in this pose, maybe the back of your knees start to bother you, you can place the blanket in between where your knees meet your shins or your calves. Breathing in here and breathing out. And once you're ready, take a big breath in, finding whichever position of this pose feels best for you. Lower down, rest on your right cheek. So turn your head to the left first. Frame out the pillows with your hands and your palms. Breathing in here. And breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. On your next inhale in, come to slowly turn your head to the opposite side. Turning your head to the right, resting on your left cheek. Again, checking in with yourself and remembering you always have the option to hit pause, to stay here longer in these poses. In a typical restorative class, we're usually in our poses for between anywhere from 5 to even 20 minutes. So taking whatever it is that you need to fill up your cup today. For right now, come to press your palms, bring them underneath your shoulders, press yourself up. Take a moment here to get your bearings. Come to move the propping out. We're coming into our final relaxation pose for today. And this will be a very truncated version of our final relaxation pose. Again, we would also be here for anywhere from 7 to several minutes. So taking however long you need today. For a restorative Shavasana, my preference is to have your head supported. My preference is also to have your knees with some support underneath you. So if you have a pillow, maybe you're bringing the pillow underneath your knees. You don't want your head super high here though. So keeping your shoulders off the blanket, but your head and the neck supported by the blanket allows you a little bit more access to relaxation. And having your knees raised up, even if it's higher than you would think, giving it a try today and seeing if you could access a little bit more relaxation here. Come to take a breath in. And a long exhale all the way out. Come to take another big breath in. And a long exhale all the way out of your mouth. One more breath just like that. Filling up your belly, your lungs, your chest, and breathing that right back out. Allow yourself to land. Allow your mind to arrive on the flow of your breath. Allow yourself to release into the earth, into this moment. And allow yourself to listen. Notice all the places that your body is still holding or still tensing. And just allow your breath to slowly arrive to all the parts of your body that still need your kind and loving attention. And then surrender into this moment. Start to soften at the top of your head, releasing any tension in your forehead, releasing any tension in your eyebrows and your eyes. Let your cheeks be soft. Let your jaw be loose and unhinged. Let your neck be soft and voluminous. Let your shoulders melt into the earth beneath you. Let your chest be effortless. Let your heart and your belly be soft, receptive. Your hips softening beneath you into the earth, into whatever props you have around you. Your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves. Effortless and easeful in this moment. Come to relax and release all 10 of your fingers, all 10 of your toes. Maybe give them a wiggle and then soften. And allow yourself to just be and just breathe for the last few moments of class. Giving yourself this gift of quiet, stillness, and relaxation. Again, a reminder to stay here for as long as it feels good for you. I will leave you on that note. I'm going to bring my hands to center, and as you're ready, bow in, bowing your head toward your heart and your hands. Thank you so much for practicing with me for this rest, restore, and release. Have a beautiful rest of your day and stay here for as long as you need. Namaste and be well, yogis. And don't forget to just be, just breathe.